young girls look up to me. It is not a bad thing that people look up to you. It is not, I don't know why people want you to feel bad for the success you've worked so hard to earn. I wasn't here a few years ago, so I have to be proud. You have to unlearn that. Being proud of yourself, it is not an issue. You have to unlearn that change would happen if you don't work for it. It would never happen. There are things that have been able to change for even people in my family today because I started questioning things. There are things in my family that people know that I can't go to Noella with this because no, I don't. They know I don't take that. If you're bringing that kind of mindset to me, there's no space allowed for it. Because I have had to work myself out of that mindset that limits me, that makes me think that the only thing I can have is the next step, when I can actually have the next 20 steps and even the next 50. I can be a lot more. You have to unlearn that coming from an underprivileged background, from a poor background. The fact that your parents were nobody, the fact that you went to funny primary schools, the fact that when your friends used to have milk for breakfast, you used to eat the remaining fufu, it means you can never be a president. You have to unlearn that. Currently, I work at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Presidential Center. And when I look at Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's story, I'm like, young girls, if you've not realized it, then there's something wrong with you. These people didn't come from any privileged background. No one held her hand, but she became the first democratically elected president in Africa. Few days ago, Namibia was inaugurating their first female president. I was in Namibia last year when Dr. Netumbo was still vice president. And we were hosting this summit and she was the patron of the event. When she was sitting there, nobody could believe that right now, if we were having that same summit and we had to invite her, there's high probability she might never come because the way you would have to struggle to get her, because now she's president. Last year it was easy. She became president. She elected the first female vice president. Who does that? That's a first in the world for a female president and a female vice president to be sitting together. This is not about feminism. Because people think feminism is all women are good, all men are bad. No, I am a feminist. But if I were to be in my family, I would be a traditional woman. But I'm a feminist. Feminism is about justice. It's about standing up for things that matter. There are men who are feminists and there are women who are not feminists. So that already just gives you an idea. Again, let me talk about Namibia. You know, there's Emma Theophilus, Honorable Emma. Emma is the Minister of ICT in Namibia. Emma became minister at 24 years old. No one pushed her. I know Emma's story. No one, it was not the kind of thing where you have big politicians campaigning for you. And no, people actually resisted even the fact because she was parliamentarian before. She was deputy minister before minister. And people didn't want to. Everyone said she was a little girl. She didn't know anything. So if she could struggle through all of that, because sometimes when you hear the stories, you think that it's because life was easy for the people. It was not, and they made it. So tell me why, if you come from my village, Mbesa, this very small village somewhere in the Northwest, you would think that you can't live from there. My dream is to be the next UN SG. Well, not after Antonio, but probably along the lines my name would one day feature. And sometimes when I say it, I actually laugh because I know what it means and I know how hard, but I still dream it. Why not? What's wrong? Why not? Dr. Vera Songwe, she's a Cameroonian. She used to head UNECA. Why not? What is wrong? Rebecca Enonchon, she's a Cameroonian. She's high up there when it comes to tech in Africa. Why not? What is wrong with you dreaming? So if you don't unlearn it, And unlearning it isn't just sitting and saying, oh, if she could do it, then I can do it. No. Putting in the work.
Yeah.
Do your research. Get the job done. Stop spending your life on. It doesn't mean don't live your life. I live my life. I would go out to the club and I would dance anytime. But the times I would be in that club and I'm actually on LinkedIn, my friends already know me because they already know me. And if I see an opportunity on that LinkedIn as we're dancing in that club, I'm sending it to your phone and I'm telling you, apply to this thing. And I'm spending the whole evening telling you, did you look at the job description? What did it say? Funny enough, that's me. And I'm doing that thing and I'm dancing bole, funny enough. So nothing limits you from spending your life as a young person. Not everybody is someone who would like to pick up responsibility. I'm just 30, turned 30 a few days ago. I picked up responsibility really young. The people living under me, my organization, I could have, decided to use the money I earned from my job and just live my life. There's no problem with that. But some of us, we feel like we were sent on earth for a purpose. We are mission driven. We feel like I'm a Christian. I believe in God. So I feel like God put me here for a reason. He's given me the resources he's giving me for a reason. I want to take care of the next person. So if you sit because you're sitting in a room somewhere now in Bonas, like I was years ago, this very small room where you have to share a bathroom with tens of other people, and you're thinking that the next best thing that can happen to your life is you moving out of that room to a modern room, then you have a problem. The next best thing that can happen to your life is you can actually become Minister of Education in Cameroon. You can actually become president. Why not? You can actually become director of one big space and help many others. So unlearning is, even myself that I wrote the book, I haven't stopped unlearning. I know I listed like some things I've unlearned, but I'm still in the process. Every day I unlearn and I relearn and I learn. It's such a dynamic process. So, there's a wealth of things out there. I can't ever say it all because myself, I'm a student of life. And you need to be a student of life to move from your current state to the next and on to the next. So, yeah.
Thank you for that list. And I think some of the things you've already talked about, that's a big drive for why you started your organization, Girls Arising. Did I say that right?
Arising, yeah.
Arising.
It stops people a little.
Girls Arising, yeah. Really interesting. So what does Girls Arising, what does the organization do? And, why are you passionate about that work?
At Girls Arising, we tackle systemic barriers to girls' education and empowerment, limited access to school, period poverty, which is a big cause of girls' absenteeism, especially like secondary schools, and even making available economic opportunities, skills building. We run a scholarship program for young girls getting into university to get their undergraduate degree. We also, on the side, that's like the academic part of the scholarship, we also have a vocational part, technical and vocational, for girls who maybe aren't lucky or haven't had the chance to have their A-levels. So you can train in skills, sewing, hairdressing, whatever it is you're passionate about. And like I said, we also tackle period poverty because stemming from my own stories of many girls I know, menstruation stigma and lack of access to period products is still something that holds back young girls a lot. And then also on the side, there's the advocacy part. I'm an artist, so I use arts, theater for development, radio theater, film, to advocate. I showcase girl stories, just to recruit men as allies for gender equality and also just uplift the voices of women and girls in sharing their plight. And yeah, I started Girls Arising because that's the best way I can make sure that poverty, gender discrimination doesn't hold another young girl back. Fortunately, it didn't hold me back, but I know it holds back millions of young girls. So I want to make sure that I'm contributing my bit to bringing about the change that I want to see in the world. My dream at Girls Rising in terms of strategic vision is I plan to have 1,000 girls graduate from university by 2030.